Hi, in this video, we are going to do a first example in Fourier series. If you have not watched videos on formation of equation of a straight line, integration by parts, and derivation of Fourier coefficients, watch them on the link given here, where you see a circle with an eye inside it. Our first example is October-November. Next, past paper question, diploma in electrical engineering. I'll be trying to combine questions from electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and civil engineering. But I think civil engineering do not have Fourier series. So for the time being, I'll try to concentrate on electrical engineering, and whenever I get a past paper, I'll be sampling on mechanical engineering. So our first example here is question 5b, October-November 2017. We are told the charge Q of T on the plates of a capacitor is as shown. So the charge is increasing from 0 to a value Q, then dropping suddenly to negative Q, remaining at negative Q for some time. That is from pi to 2 pi, and then changing suddenly from negative Q to pi, not negative Q to 0 at 2 pi radians, and then increasing slowly to Q. We had already done the first part of this question. We had already determined the analytical description of the function, and we said this function of Q of T has a discontinuity at point pi. But however, we are quickly going to go through the first question, which is Roman 1. We are told to determine the equation, to determine the analytical description of the charge Q of T. We said we need to determine the equation of straight line. This point 0, 0, and this is point Q pi, not Q pi, pi Q. This point, the t-axis is pi, the vertical axis is Q. This point, we only need that to determine the equation of the line. And we say the gradient M is changed in Q of T, or over change in T, which is charge changes from, if you take this as our first point, charge changes from Q to 0, but ideally in an actual situation it is from 0 to Q. But for the mathematical point of view, you can take from Q to 0, only from mathematical point of view. But from an electrical engineering point of view, it is from 0 coulombs to charge to Q coulombs. So this is equal to Q minus 0 all over, time is pi to, here is pi minus 0, which is Q all over pi. The equation of the line is charge, which is a function of time, is equal to M T plus C. C is the intercept on the dependent axis, which is occurring at 0 when charge is at 0. M is the gradient. So now that we have determined M is the gradient, we are going to say the equation here is Q T is equal to Q over pi T. That's the equation of this section. The other one is, so now we can say this is for Q of T is equal to Q over pi T. This is for charge, for times between 0 and pi. This portion, 0 to pi. The charge is governed by that equation. And then Q of T is equal to, here, negative Q for time lies between t and pi. T, what is it? So time between pi and 2 pi. Trying to quickly go through this one because we had done it earlier. Now we can bring everything together and summarize. Q of t is equal to q all over pi t between 0 and pi, and again here negative q between pi and 2 pi. So that is the analytical description, but we should not forget to say that q of t is periodic with 2 pi. The function for charge is periodic with 2 pi. Then, having done the first question, we can now embark on determining the Fourier series representation of the charge Q of t. I'm going to remove this. You can always remember this, you don't need to keep it. So I'll remove it. To determine the Fourier series representation of Q of t, we know that the expression for Fourier series, or the equation, is Q of t is the same as function of x, or function of t, is equal to half a naught plus the sum from n is equal to 1 to infinity an cos n t plus bn sin n t, and we close that bracket. In the previous video, we said the Fourier series representation of a function f of x is given by f of x is equal to half a naught plus sum from an cos nx plus bn sin nx when you are given the function on the independent variable being x. But now the function on the independent variable is t. So what now we need to do is to determine the three Fourier coefficients, a naught, an, and bn. And we said from our previous video, a naught is equal to 1 over pi integrate from negative pi to pi function of x with respect to x when we are discussing using variable x. But now we are using variable t. So we are going to say it is Q of t with respect to t. We will be integrating Q of t with respect to t. Again, we are our limit will not be from negative pi to pi, but instead it will be from 0 to 2 pi. Remember, we said we can take any limits of integration as long as it covers a period of 2 pi radians. For convenience, in our case, we will start from 0 to 2 pi. So the limit of integration will be given from 0 to 2 pi. That is a whole complete period. Now, this one will give us a naught is now equal to 1 over pi. We are integrating from 0 to pi 0 to pi, q of t, which we have just determined, is q over pi t. That is from 0 to pi, which is governed by this curve, which is q r over pi t. We're integrating with respect to t. Integrating the variable of integration is with respect to t, plus from pi to 2 pi, from pi to 2 pi, we'll be integrating negative q with respect to t. Because around this line, the charge is negative q. Now, finish our integration. It will be integral of q over pi t dt. You can factor this q over pi outside the integral sign. We do that, it will be q over pi integrate t with respect to t from 0 to pi. Here if you factor out negative q, it will be negative q integrate from pi to pi 1 dt, or simply dt. We get 1 over pi integrate t squared. It will be, if you integrate t, it will be t squared all over 2 at the applied limit from 0 to pi, minus integral of dt will give you t. It's a cancellation equation, qt, then you apply limit from pi to 2 pi. Apply limit from pi to 2 pi. If you substitute limit of integration here, it's 1 over pi. Substitute limit of integration. The upper limit is pi squared over 2. Lower limit is 0, which will completely disappear. So here upper limit is q all over pi. Where you have t, you put pi, t times pi squared over 2 minus q. Where you have t, if you apply the upper limit, it will be 2 pi. Where you have t, if you apply the lower limit, it will be pi. This is now equal to 1 over pi. Pi will cancel with one of the pi's here to give you q pi. This pi will cancel with one of the pi's. It's pi squared, it will be q pi all over 2 minus 2 pi minus pi, this pi, multiply with negative q to be negative q pi. This is a half q pi minus q pi to give us negative a half q pi, or negative q pi over 2. So we have 1 over pi times negative q pi all over 2. So the pi and the pi will cancel out to give you a naught. A naught is equal to negative q all over 2. Negative q all over 2. Now let us determine the value of an. Can remove this, we no longer need it. We already have the question, we didn't need it. Yeah, might need to refer. Let me just remove this. Don't need this anymore. B. An now, An here, An is equal to, according to the formula, 1 over pi integral from negative pi to pi function of x cos nx with respect to x. That's what we said when we are deriving. You are using variable x for our derivation, and we are using limit from negative pi to pi. But in this case, for convenience in our question, we are given limit from 0 to 2 pi, and that is what we are going to use. So here, instead of using limit negative pi to pi, we'll do as per our question, which is from 0 to 2 pi, which covers a limit, which covers an interval of 2 pi radians. And again, we are not dealing with function of x, but we are using a function of q. Function of q, not function of q, function of t, because instead of using variable x, use variable t, cosine t dt, which gives us 1 over pi integral. We are not going to integrate everything from 0 to 2 pi, because between 0 and pi, our q of t is governed by this curve, which is q over pi t. Between pi and 2 pi, between pi and 2 pi, our q of t is equal to negative q. So we will split the limit of integration from 0 to pi, and you take q of t to be q all over pi t cosine t dt. Q of t is q over pi t, and then multiply with cos nt, plus the other section from pi to pi is integrate negative q. Our function of t, q of t is negative q, then we multiply with cos nt, and we integrate with respect to t. Let us factor, the limit is from pi to 2 pi. We factor out the constants outside the integral sign, and at the same time, we start our integration with 1 over pi, factor out q, all over pi, t, integrate from 0 to pi, integrate from 0 to pi, t cos nt dt. That's not a master factor. It can work when q over pi is still inside the integral sign. Minus here is negative q, integrate from pi to 2 pi, cos nt dt. Then we close that bracket. Here we must use integration by part. We have already discussed that. This is u, is dv. Therefore here you are going to integrate by part. This section, integrating by parts. Because we have two variables, t, which on its own can be integrated with respect to t, cos nt, which on its own can be integrated with respect to t. We also, here, we integrate directly, because we only have one expression in our integral. We only have cos nt. We can integrate directly. Here you have t cos nt dt, which should be integrated by parts. So here we apply integration by part. U is equal to t. We know we need du dt, which is equal to 1. Du is equal to dt. We have dv, this portion dv, which is cos nt dt. If we integrate this on both sides, integral of dv is equal to integral of cos nt dt. Integral of dv is a cancellation equation to cancel the derivative to give you v. If you integrate cos nt dt, you have cosine function changing to sine function, but you multiply with 1 over n because of this constant n here. Sine nt, sine nt. Now we substitute everything in our formula. Remember, integrating by part. The formula for integration by part is integral of u dv is equal to uv minus integral of v du. So when you're integrating by part, you need u. You have it, u is t. You need v. V is 1 over n sin nt. You also need du, which you have determined du is equal to dt. Now we substitute everything in the formula. And we say an is equal to, here, 1 over pi, integral from 0 to pi. We have constant q over pi, q over pi, integral from 0 to pi, t cos nt. Integral from 0 to pi, t cos nt. Here we are saying we are going to integrate with by parts, which is integral of u dv, which gives us integral of u dv is uv minus integral of v dv. So to integrate that part, you open a new bracket. The result of the integration is uv, which is t v sine nt, sine nt is over here, or over n. And you say since this part do not have symbol for integration, it means we are done with the integration. We can apply a limit from 0 to pi minus, according to our formula, integral of v du. V is 1 over n sin nt. So it is integral of 1 over n sin nt, that is du. This du, which is equal to dt here, dt. But because it's a constant, we can take it outside the integrals. Sine, you have minus 1 over n integral from 0 to pi sin nt dt. So far, we have managed to integrate by part once on this portion. We still have this one, minus q. Integral of cos nt will give us sin nt, but the n, the sine function, because it has the cosine function, when integrated, will give you a sine function, and there will be 1 over n as a result of integration of the cosine function. So that 1 over n, we put it there. Is q times 1 over n is q over n. Cosine function will change to sine function, which is sine nt. You are integrating directly, no integration by part, because you only have one integral or one expression in our integral. So you can now apply limit from pi to pi, and you can close the big bracket. We proceed here. And we say, this is the only part that is not integrated. So we still have some work here. There is this integration sign. Here we are done, we are ready to apply the limit. Here we are ready to finish integrating. Here we are done, we are ready to apply the limit. You can start applying the limit. For example, this one, just by looking at it, this one will be equal to 0, this one will be equal to 0. Because when you substitute limit with sine n pi, it always give you 0. Making those substitution will make your work easier. Yep, here is sine n pi, which is 0. Here sine 0 is 0. Here sine 2 pi n is 0. Sine n pi is 0. But let us finish the integration and then we apply the limits all together. But in an exam, you can say this is 0, this is 0, you're only interested in this portion. So you have an is equal to 1 over pi q over pi bracket t sine nt 1 over n, prime limit from 0 to pi. Here we integrate, we have negative. Cosine sine function when integrated, it will give you a cosine function, but negative cosine. That cosine, as a result of this n, will be multiplied with 1 over n. So there is original 1 over n. This one will also produce 1 over n. You have 1 over n squared. Integrating sine function will give you negative cosine, which will change that sign to positive. Apply limit from 0 to pi. This one, there is no integration taking place, just subtracting q all over n sine nt, the apply limit from pi to 2 pi, and then we close that bracket. We had already said, but it's important to repeat it, that sine n pi is equal to 0, no matter the value of n. 1, sine pi is 0, sine 2 pi is 0, sine 3 pi is 0, sine 4 pi is 0, and so on. Again, sine 2 pi n, as a result of this substitution, 2 pi n is always equal to 0. It does not matter the value of n. If n is 1, it will be sine 2 pi, which is 0. If n is 2, it will be sine 4 pi, which is equal to 0. If n is 3, it will be sine 6 pi, which is equal to 0. Cosine, we had already seen also this earlier. Cosine pi will vary, but let us not worry about that for the time being. So if we substitute upper limit, n pi, sin n pi will give us 0. If you substitute lower limit, sin 0 will give us 0. all of that will disappear is equal to 0. Here, sine 2 pi will give us 0. If you put the lower limit, sine n pi will also give you 0. So both limit upper and lower will be equal to 0. Now we only left with this one. An now becomes 1 over pi, the bracket. Here there is a square bracket, the square bracket here, the square bracket, q, open the bracket with q over pi, open the bracket with 1 over n squared. It is q all over pi n squared cos upper limit cos n pi upper limit lower limit cos of 0, cosine of 0. Cosine of 0 is 1 minus 1. This now will depend with the value of n. Finally open the bracket, n pi is equal to. Then before that, we say cos n pi is equal to -1 for n is even. Cos n pi is equal to +1 for not n is even here, for n is odd, for n is even. For positive values of, for odd values of n, cos n pi is -1, like cos 1 pi, cos 3 pi, cos 5 pi is equal to -1. For even values of n, cos n pi is equal to 1. That is cos 2 pi is 1, cos 4 pi is 1, cos 6 pi is 1. Meaning an will be equal to, for odd values, it is -1 minus 1, that is -2. -2q, suppose is -2 times q times 1, -2q, all over pi times pi, I squared, n squared, for n is odd. An will be equal to, for n is even, this +1 minus 1, that is 0. So 0 times this, 0 times this, 0. N is 0 for n is even. For n is even. Having determined the value of an, we now determine the value of bn. Bn is equal to 1 over pi integral of q of t sine nt with respect to t, which is 1 over pi, is from 0 to 2 pi, integral from, split the intervals of integration. We start from 0 to pi, where the function is q over t, q over pi t, q over pi t, sine nt dt minus q integral from pi to pi cos nt, not cos but sine nt dt. Because we factored out here -q, this is -q. Let me factor out in the next step. The next is plus integral from pi to pi -q sine nt dt. Because I not factored up this one, I just factored now single step 1 over pi q all over pi integral from 0 to pi t sine nt dt minus q integral from pi to 2 pi sine nt dt. Here we have two expressions on the integrand. T, which on its own is integratable by with respect to t, I add sine t, which on its own is integratable with respect to t. Because those two, they are being multiplied, the best method of integration in that case is integration by parts. So this portion we are going to integrate by parts, but we had already discussed how to make choices of u and dv. These are u, these are dv. So here we are going to integrate by parts, integrating by parts. Remember the formula for integration by parts is integral of u dv is equal to uv minus integral of v minus integral of v du. Here we only have one expression in the integrand, only sine nt, which is integrated with respect to t. So this one we are ready to integrate. You can integrate directly. Make choices of u and d. We have done that. Here u is equal to t. We know we need du in our formula. dt is equal to 1. du is equal to dt. We also have dv is equal to sine nt dt. Integrate this one on both sides, sin nt dt. Integrating v, dv you get v, you get negative cosine 1 over n cosine nt. Now substitute those in the limit, in the formula. Bn is equal to 1 over pi. We have bracket there, q over pi, on integration of t sin nt, t sin nt dt, which is integral of u dv. Integral of u dv should give us uv minus integral of u du. Because we anticipate our answer or the result of integration to have two components, this one and this one, it would be good for us to open a bracket. So integral of u dv, integral of u dv is equal to uv, u is t, v, which is negative 1 over n cos nt, negative cos nt, we divide by n, this one, minus integral. Having finished the integration, we are ready to apply the limit, minus integral from 0 to pi v, which is 1 over n cos nt, negative 1 over n cos nt, du, which is dt. But it will be good for us to factor out this negative outside the integral sign, so that you have two negatives, negative, negative, which is positive, 1 over n, integral of cosine nt with respect to t, and we are integrating from 0 to pi Close that because we are done with that portion. We have finished this one. Now we are here. It is minus, not minus, this one, minus q. If you integrate sign, you get negative 1 over n cosine t. So there will be two negatives. Negative in this expression here, negative generated by cosine, which is positive, cosine 1 over n cosine t, apply limit from pi to 2 pi. Then you close the bracket. Finally, you finish it off. You can start applying the limits here in the exam to shorten your work and to drop off some of the terms in your result. But for purpose of explaining and making everything to be clear, let me move on the next step with everything and then apply limit having finished the integration. Here we are done, here we are done, but we are left to this one. As long as there is symbol of integration somewhere, it means that portion is not integrated. That's what we now need to integrate. Which is equal to 1 over pi q over pi negative t cosine t all over n. Limit is 0 to pi plus 1 over cosine itself. If we integrate to produce positive sign like this, multiplication with 1 over n, which will give us 1 over n times 1 over n. This 1 over n plus 1 generated by integration, 1 over n squared. Cosine function is change to sin n t. The limit are from 0 to pi plus. Here we are done with integration. We have nothing to worry about. We only needed to apply the limit 2 pi to pi. Bn now equal to, let us, if we apply the upper limit, this is 1 over pi q over pi, then square bracket. If you apply the upper limit here, it is wherever you have t, because you are integrating with respect to t. Wherever you have t, you apply the upper limit, which is pi. So here you have negative pi, you can do this. This negative and this n, you can factor out. Now we have negative q all over pi n. I factored out this n here and this negative. Let me see, is it possible? Here I should have this bracket up there. The square bracket, this term and this term. This on integration have produced this one. Therefore, this negative and 1 over n, they are only applicable to this portion. No, we cannot factor out. Cannot factor out because they are only applicable, to this expression, not here. So to make just there it is q over pi, write the upper limit, negative pi, this pi, substitute here negative pi, cos n pi, 0 you substitute here to be 0 multiplied with everything to give you 0. So the lower limit here will give you 0. Don't worry about that. Forget about it. Plus On substitution of the upper limit, sin n pi will give us 0 and sin 0 will give us 0. So this expression will become 0. You can say plus 0, but there is no need to. So we just leave it like that, because this one is 0. 0. The other portion plus q over pi, the upper limit, q over pi, not q over pi but q over n. The upper limit is cosine of 2n pi here, cos 2n, whatever you have p, we are substituting with 2 pi, which is cos 2n pi, or cos pi n, cos 2 pi n, minus the upper limit is cos, the lower limit is cos pi n, cos pi n, or cos n pi, whichever, cos pi n, cos n pi is just the same. Avoid this going outside the camera limit is cos 2 pi n minus lower limit cos n pi, cos n pi. This bracket was going up to here. We even didn't need it because this one has reduced to 0, but since we had already since we had already used it, let us just have it, or we can remove everything. And then this big bracket here, this one, we finally close here. We close that. You can open this bracket. So we have here is equal to this pi, and pi will cancel out to give you negative 1. So it's 1 over pi. Cancel out there. This one has 1 over n. It's 1 over n here. This 1 over n. So cancelling out will give you negative q all over n cos n pi. Negative q all over n cos n pi plus q all over n cos n pi. This one will always be positive 1. Cos 2n pi. Because of these two, it will make this product to be even. This product will be even. And product and cosine of an even term here is 1. So this is the 1 minus cos n pi. Cos n pi. I close that bracket. The value of Bn will depend is n odd or even. Let us try for n is even. N is odd. We start with odd value. For n is odd, for n is odd. For example, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, n is equal to 5. Cosine of pi is negative 1, cosine of 3 pi is negative 1, cosine of pi pi is negative 1. So we have here for any values that is cos pi for odd values, cos 3 pi, cos 5 pi, and so on. It will give us negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. Meaning, this one will be negative 1, and this one will be negative 1. So for n is odd, Bn will be 1 over n, not 1 over n but 1 over pi. Negative 1 times negative q, that is positive q all over n, plus negative 1 minus 1, that is 2. 2 times q over n, 2q all over n, which will give us, if we now combine, this is 3q over n times 1 over pi. This 3q all over n times 1 over pi, 3q over pi n. 3q over pi n for n is odd. For n is even, that is cosine of 2 pi is 1, cosine of 4 pi is 1, cosine of 6 pi is 1. This one will be 1, positive 1. This one will be positive 1. So it is Bn is equal to, here 1 minus 1 will give 0. So this term will disappear. Cos n pi is positive 1 for even values of n. This one will disappear. Here it will be negative q over n times 1 over pi times negative q all over n, which is equal to negative q all over pi n, for n is even. Now that we have determined the value of an, a0, and bn, we can bring the result together and do the summation for the Fourier series. Let me make use of this space here. We have a0 we had already determined. A0 is equal, we had already determined the value of a0, which we got is negative q over 2. Previously we had determined the value of an, which we got is negative q all over pi squared n squared, but this one was varying. This is for n is even, not even for n is odd. N is equal to 0 for n is even. We had previously determined that, and we have now determined Bn. Bn is equal to what? Is equal to 3q all over pi n, 3q all over pi n for n is odd, and Bn is equal to negative q over pi n. Negative q all over pi n for n is even. For n is even. For n is even. We now bring everything together in our Fourier series expansion. Because we know Fourier series expansion tells us that a certain function q of t or a function q of t will be equal to, in the Fourier series, a naught half a naught plus sum when n is equal to 1 to infinity a n cos n t plus dn sin n t. So q of t will be equal to a half a naught. A naught is negative q of 2 times a half. It is negative q all over 4, negative q over 4 plus, we start summing, we start with an. We can split the two because if you open the bracket, it will be summation from n is equal to 1 to infinity an cos n t plus summation from n is equal to 1 to infinity bn sin n t. So we can split. An is 2 negative 2q all over pi squared n squared. If we start summing for cosine, we have this negative is a constant, we can keep it outside the bracket. 2, q is also a constant, pi squared is also a constant, can keep it there, but n will be changing. Cosine, so you start with the cosine terms. This for n is odd. For n is even, you don't have terms for cosines. You don't have cosine terms. It will be 1 over n squared. 1 all over 1 squared cos 1t plus odd terms only. Because of this over n squared. Over n squared. I've factored it inside. 1 all over 3 squared cos 3t plus 1 over 5 squared cos 5t and so on. Therefore, we can say here, of course 1 over 1 squared is simply 1, so we don't need to put it like that. 1 over 1 squared is 1 cos t plus the next one is 1 over 3 squared, which is 1 over 9 cos 3t. Even ones are equal to 0, so we cannot say 1 over 2 squared because for n is even, value of an is equal to 0 plus 1 over 25 cos 5t plus 1 over 49 cos 17. Those are only the cosine terms. This one, only the cosine terms. Remember, we should sum up to infinity, from 1 to infinity, but we'll never be able to do that. You cannot sum up to infinity, you don't have time for that. Plus, we now start summing up the cosine, the sine terms. The sine terms will be alternating. For even, it is this. For odd, it is this. But if you look at these two, this has 3q all over pi n, 3q all over pi n. This one have q all over pi n. Notice n will be summing because n will be changing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So we do not include it outside the bracket. But Q and pi are constants. So we have plus Q over pi, Q over pi. The first one, odd. We have been left with 3. The first one is n is 1. It will be 3 over 1, which is 3. 3 sine t plus even it is negative. Negative. Q is outside the bracket, pi is outside the bracket. Therefore it is 1 over n. It is 1 over 2 sine 2t. The other one, 3 is odd. So we have factored out q and pi, we are left with 3 over n. But in this case, n is 3. So it is 3 over 3, which is 1, plus is negative. For even is negative. For even values is negative. For odd is positive. So it is 3 over 3, which is 1, sine 3t. For even is negative, so the next one is negative 1 over 4 sine 4t plus 3 over 5 sine 5t. It's a series, it never end. We are summing up to infinity. If you had sum up to infinity, you never finish your exam. So that's how you write the Fourier. That's how you expand a certain function, or you represent a certain function in terms of Fourier series.